Welcome to Well Fight Wrestler. I'm Andrew Sennedra, and this is the Mumbo Jumbo Master, Captain Witchfingers. And today we are talking about AEW's latest pay-per-view, Dynasty, that went down, whatever it was, a couple of days ago from when we're filming this. Anyways, overall, pretty solid pay-per-view. So we're going to go work our way from the main event down so we can get to the good shit early on. So the main event, obviously, Swerve Strickland versus that big melon-headed Samoa Joe. Overall, what did you think of that match for the main event?
Well, like you mentioned, as soon as I saw the entrance of the Black Panther coming out, I'm like, man, Swerve's gonna win. Black Panther can't lose, right?
Can't lose to this melon head.
And it turns out I was right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying during that.
Yeah, but like, right off the bat, melon head gives my press down onto the cement. I'm like, oh man, Swerve like broke his back. How's he gonna come back from this?
Yeah, that was pretty nasty. And Swerve had a couple of decent moments. He had that 450 guillotine sort of where he was. So the big head was stuck on the ropes, and he did that, and they had that sort of, I don't know if it was Fosbury, knee strike, but it just kind of looked like that the way Swerve jumped over the ropes and came down on Joe's, big head. I was surprised it didn't hurt Swerve's knee more. He's like, my knee on Joe's big melon.
Another cool moment was when Swerve stole Pento's arm breaker. He did that thing, and then he reached back, and he's like, oh, his arm's broken.
Yeah, I noticed he's been doing that a bit more. But one thing I do think is I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, I feel like if it wasn't for Hangman, would Swerve be this popular, this over? Yeah. That rivalry with Hangman seemed to elevate Swerve, even though he was the heel of it, breaking into his house, but they sort of switched it. And I feel like, because people bash Hangman so much for his title run, I feel like Strickland wouldn't even kind of be in this position if it wasn't for that rivalry and those big, violent, intense matches that they had, right?
Yeah, that definitely catapulted him to the main event level.
Yeah.
And also that double switch where Cowboy went good to bad and he did back to good.
Yeah,
so
semi bad maybe.
Maybe
just kind of pissed off. But I was just thinking, that's kind of why he ended up in that picture. But good for Swerve. I definitely think he has been deserving and earning this over the last 6 to 8 months approximately. So I think this is definitely well earned, and they have a good champ that deserves this spot right now. The next match is the Young Bucks versus FTR again, except this time they're doing a ladder match, which turned out much better. I think this is, they wanted to do something better than what they had, that dud at Wembley in our opinion, but this was a pretty good, and I think after so many Young Bucks, ladder matches they've had, they were still innovating stuff, which I thought that was just really cool that they're still pulling out more innovations. I'm sure them and FTR went over some spots and things that they wanted to do. They had a pretty brutal nut shot where, it didn't look like Cash was wearing a cup. So that landing, he was like, oh, that one had to be pretty rough. You had some, ass first going through the table. Matt Jackson when he got hit, he bounced his ass first and hits his head on. I was like, oh, that seemed like a really uncomfortable table spot for him on that one. Matt Jackson's high ass 450 that he did off of, which is pretty crazy because it was more away. Usually 450s they like them closer because they can, but this one he had to extend out, which is pretty tricky. So I was like, wow, Nick Jackson really landed that one pretty good.
Yeah, and Cash also pulled out some new moves, did a moonsault. Usually, they're meat and potatoes guys, and then now
what about his diving headbutt into nobody?
Oh, that was hilarious! I'm like, we had to rewind that. We're like, what's going on? He's like.
It was full bore into it.
In there.
It was like, holy crap, he went, full blast into the fucking headbutt. There was a lot of pretty hard-hitting, devastating headbutt table shots, within that match. I was like, holy crap, there's some of them were definitely awkward. I could see that taking a toll.
Yeah, I think you mentioned during the match, Dax is you're getting brutally beat down, he's beat down left and right, he's all bloodied, he got his ass kicked quite a bit out of all four guys, I think. Yeah, I think one moment, where you mentioned the 450, the other guy got a power driver, so it's kind of they kind of kill each other at the same time. You're gonna kill my partner, I'm gonna kill your partner to the table.
Yeah, and then you have the ending. You have this happen.
Yeah, so cool. Dax he's got it, but he's got here. FTR. He's got it. What do we got here? What is this? It's a freaking fight.
And see, I fucking told you months and months ago. Matt Jackson said, "I love your work, Scapegoat," briefly in an entrance for the Young Bucks. And I was like, oh, I was just feeling that like Jack Perry, this heel, the way the Young Bucks have turned with the Elite, this fits him perfectly. And when he said that, I was like, man, Jack Perry, he's got to be going to the Elite. It would fit so perfectly well, and it would be huge. And then they did the CM Punk thing, which everyone was like, oh, crying about the video and stuff. And I said, this is all a freaking angle. And I was freaking right. I was right weeks and weeks or months ago on all of this shit. Damn right. We should record our thoughts, our prediction thoughts on things we're going to think happen. Because we've been nailing so many of these things, being accurate.
Yeah, I was pretty excited when I saw Jack. I'm like, oh yeah, damn right, he's gonna stir some shit up, he's gonna kick some ass, But yeah, I remember when you told me, I was like, I wasn't so sure. But then as we got closer and closer to Dynasty, I'm like, I can see it, and what do you know?
And since we've been following New Japan and his stuff in New Japan Cup with House of Torture, all of this type of stuff, I was like, man, this is just his personality, everything. He's like really good heel. He's got a lot of heat right now with all of this BS that's going on, and he just fits right exactly into what the Young Bucks are doing with the Elite and their attitude, kicking Omega out, suspending. I'm like, he just slides right in there perfectly. I'm like, this is going to be great for everybody involved, I believe.
Now we're just going to wait for like that huge faction rivalry with the Elite and Omega's faction once he returns. That's going to be a barn burner, a classic.
He's going to show up with a Hangman. They're just going to be all alone. Now we're moving on to Will Ospreay versus Goat Whore Bryan Danielson. For all the people that watch our channel, I'd say, maybe like the 10 people, they would realize that like we aren't really into too much of what Bryan Danielson does as much as everybody else does. We're not those mark whores. Anyways, but this match had to be his best. I felt like he did a lot to really help Ospreay's moves, work with fluidity and look good and things like that. So I think, this was probably his best match or one of his best matches I've seen from him. But still, I think Ospreay really made the match the most exciting. We got the typical Bryan Danielson, kick strikes, submission stuff. He did his cattle mutilation, the only move I like that he does, and that stupid knee. But I think Ospreay showed. I think he was showing them up, like move for move. Ospreay can really grapple and go move for move with guys like that. When I saw him versus Zack Sabre Jr., he easily did that. So Danielson's technical stuff isn't really, as predominant as everyone thinks it is. Because I thought Ospreay really went perfectly with him. They set a great pace, great fluidity. I really liked. Ospreay hit a lot of his moves perfectly. The perfect Sky Twister press, Avalanche Tiger suplex, which was pretty solid. That was Danielson that landed that though. Yeah, they did a good job on that. Big time Oz cutter that was massive, in the Storm Driver. They supposedly killed Danielson. So there was a lot of really good moments in there.
Yeah. Felt like right off the bat, they're kind of in sync with like countering each other back and forth, like they're kind of on a similar level. And then man, with that tiger suplex on the top, I was thinking, man, I'm like, flip out. I'm like, oh, he didn't flip out, he like killed him. His poor neck.
Well, that's why he had to give him the Storm Driver later. He's like, I'll give you one on your damn neck, you stupid hoser.
And something you noticed during the fight is like when Danielson did a Hurricane Rana, he laid his head first.
I don't know what's been going on, but a lot of people doing those turnbuckle or Hurricane Ranas have been like landing on their heads pretty much lately. In ROH, I was like, what the hell's with all these guys? Jericho pretty much did as well. I was like, what the fuck is going on with these?
But yeah, I think that injury is fake at the end, like you mentioned, it's not.
Well, they filmed afterwards.
Yeah.
And Danielson in the room, he's like, "Oh, get out of here!" I was like, they don't film that shit if he's actually hurt.
Yeah, they just want to make it more drama-inducing.
Well, I think they might want to try to build a storyline off of this, and that's what they're trying to do. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Ospreay hit some, a lot of incredible moves. He had a one-arm Styles clash in there. At least they look kind of like that, and obviously the explosive ending. But overall, yeah, it's definitely a solid match and kind of boosted the pay-per-view up for us as we were heading towards the end there. Next match we got on here, let's see what we got. We got Jericho versus Hook. We got Hook had some hard times, which is interesting because he was suplexing Shane Taylor around much easier, and he's like much heavier. So the deceivingly fat Chris Jericho really made it hard for Hook, unless he just wasn't jumping. But like, you know, I just was like, man, Hook's having a hard time tossing Jericho, but not Shane Taylor. Confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was. Some decent moment. I feel like Hook really owned the match for the most part with his deceivingly hard fat suplexes that he had. The trash can on the with Jericho, he had it on his head or whatever. The T-bone suplex, which had to be pretty awkward, but yeah, not a bad match. I think it could have been better, but then you know Jericho's getting old and fat.
Yeah, Jericho took some beatings, you know, lands on some tables, and like I think one I saw where like got a can on his head, you know, he kind of landed awkwardly that head first. I'm like, oh, that might feel funny on the noodle. So, maybe Jericho's like top heavy, you know, so his weight is distributed oddly. So he's like I can't pick him up.
Damn, maybe it is. He's like Samoa Joe, all that head weight. But yeah, okay match. FTW rules, you know, some hard hitting stuff. But we'll see how the story evolves. It clearly is going to evolve, continue.
Yeah, there's a new champ, and like I think Taz gonna be involved. Maybe Taz will get revenge on him or something.
He's like, oh, he's like, I need you, Brian Cage, go beat up Jericho. But the next match I thought was pretty good overall. It is a bit of a showcase for Kyle O'Reilly because he was out for so long. I didn't really. But he still did quite a bit of stuff, a lot of striking, a lot of different things that he was able to bring to the match against Roderick Strong. Kind of forced last minute, but at least they were able to put on a decent match, you know, at the last minute sort of thing between the two guys. And since they know each other, they could put on a pretty solid match, I think, between them. Then you have Roderick Strong and his damn crazy variety of backbreakers. He's doing them from like every which way, like pulling them out of, you know, different suplex positions, you know, like a tiger or a tiger style one, or countering O'Reilly's moves with them. Just overall, I thought there was a really good pace, a good variety of everything going on. Not like just 3 moves and we're done this match, or 3 moves and we do those 3 moves 100 times. Like, oh, I'm gonna kick you 50 times, you backslap me 50 times. Like, there was a lot of variety between these guys going on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love his backbreakers. You know, like it's so like creative. Like the turnbuckle one is like it's crazy. But I kind of want to see this rivalry kind of evolve because like there's a lot of back history and story between these two.
Yeah. So especially with Adam Cole there.
Yeah. So I want to see it grow into something more, something bigger.
Yeah.
So
yeah, especially since Kyle O'Reilly's kind of a lone wolf, so he might be getting his ass kicked. So he might have to, you know, join up with somebody so he's not getting outbeaten by like 5 guys. But yeah, there's overall really, I think one of the better matches of the night for sure. The next match we'll be talking about is, I guess, a 6-man. You got Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe, and Adam Copeland. Quite a strange mixture there. I guess they tried to do anything they could to get Copeland on to the pay-per-view versus the House of Black, which did turn into a storyline. You know, it seems like this match has now segued into something bigger, which I think will be cool. I'm kind of interested to see what the Black Mist does to Copeland that they had at the end of the match.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of excitement, I think, throughout the match, especially since the styles were so clashing between everybody. You had strikers, power guys, you know, old school slappers, you know, big power moves from certain people, a little bit of speed and aerial with a specific guy. So it was quite a mixture between all 6 individuals, but you had many noggin strikes. There was lots of those. A lot of people getting slammed in the noggin. Mark Briscoe had his flips. He had the one that you thought he somehow teleported around the ring post. It was like, I don't know how he would have teleported, but he went, you know, cannonball flipped over it, you know, from the apron. I've actually never seen him do something like that before. You know, springboarding and jump coming over like that was pretty good. Brody, you know, got his revenge. A huge Death Valley driver on Mark Briscoe looked pretty painful, you know, on that one. And I also like the one-arm powerbomb. Buddy Matthews couldn't get in there. They're doing the double powerbomb or on the turnbuckle. And he's like, oh, I have to carry Kingston with one arm. Oh, he's so heavy. He's like, I'm gonna just heave this. It's like, it shows Buddy Matthews, that buff priest. He's rocking it.
My favorite moment was like when Kingston, he's like in the corner, he's like slapping so hard that like and ricocheted back to his body, and he fell over. So it's like,
oh, I was like, why did he fall? Some sort of weird.
He slapped so hard that he felt that repercussion.
It was reverse inertia effect. I was like, what the hell?
And we also have like a theory where like Edge now can hurt evil. Now he can finally tag with Christian, like the other evil guy. So I
can tag with you now, Christian, because the black mist has changed me.
It's corrupted me, my soul.
Yeah, maybe. It kind of might make for a funny storyline. Then we're going to end up on the opener tonight. I guess we skipped the women's matches. Oh well, whatever. You feminine, you damn sexist bastards. Anyways, we got Okada versus Pac. Opener of the night. Looked like a pretty good match, on paper overall. We had some pretty good moments throughout there. Kind of standard Pac and Okada things. But Okada hit his classic drop kicks and all his big moves. I thought the Black Arrow at the end from Pac was pretty devastating when Okada got his knees up. It really looked like, it was hard to tell, but it looked like Pac took some knees in the face on the way down.
Yeah, also, Pac, man, that guy's an amazing sell job. Like, when he did the DT outside, it looked like Pac was like folded in half, like broken neck, it looked like he dying.
The
like
veins were bulging from his head. He's like selling so hard. He's like, my veins, man, they're bulging.
I'm like, man, this guy can make any move look so good.
Yeah, him and Ospreay are similar to that. They really make a lot of moves look good on guys. Like Okada sold that stuff well. It looked like he was really hurt on that suplex. He's like, his mouth was white. He's dying from that. So Okada really did a pretty good job of selling a lot. And he kind of took the beating for most of the part of this match to kind of put Pac over as well and kind of win at the last minute with getting his knees up on the Black Arrow. So I can see this rivalry sort of going a bit longer, but I did have a bit higher expectations for this match though.
See, I think these two guys can go. I think they're on the first card. They didn't want to overthrow and show up the other guy because these guys can go hard. So they're like, guys, just tone it down.
No, you don't tone it down. You don't pull that WWE shit. It's Okada and Pac. They do what they want.
You don't go too crazy. The main guy, the melon head, can't compete with you guys, right? So you gotta.
Well, to me, I actually thought Trent Beretta and Matt Sydal was a better match overall. But I actually kind of thought that match was better than a few of them on the card for sure. I thought. Trent's looking good. Sydal is always pulling out a lot of stuff. That was on 0 Hour, and that was an overall pretty solid. That was actually, that was a good match. I liked that. Glad to see Trent kind of go in his own direction now.
Go evil.
Bitch slapping people. Fuck you, I'm fucking Trent. But anyways, that's our thoughts on Dynasty. Let's see where we got this ranked. We got good, great, awesome, amazing, spectacular, and fantastic. Where do you got it ranked? Well, you got some notes for me. What is this bullshit?
I think it's gonna say amazing. It's pretty good, I had the
way up there. That's number 4. Amazing.
I had the return of the ScapeGoat.
Well, I guess that helped. Yeah, I can see that.
Ospreay. Ospreay's always put good matches, but
I don't know. I'm gonna end up going kind of a bit lower. I was gonna say great because I'm gonna say it was good because of the first half of the card, and then the Ospreay and the tag match shot it up another level because Danielson kind of sucked some of the life out of Ospreay's match. So I'm only going to kind of give it great because I thought there were matches that could have been better.
This guy's a hard grader,
I am. You gotta earn it to get up there, right? You don't just hand people shit. This is participation awards crap. You gotta fucking earn it. I gotta earn it. I earned this video. My lungs hurt. Itchy. Coughing all the time. Anyways, until we got some links below for shit wherever. Well, yeah. Anyways, until next time, folks. How about some heavy rest?